Okay, tonight I'm going to do things a little differently. When I first parked the car in this snow park, which is called Swampy Lakes Snow Park, not the one I've been staying in the last few nights, I had planned on hanging the hammock between those two trees, thus and thus. But I've changed my mind. I'm going to hang the hammock inside the Subaru. It's a 2004 Forester Subaru Forester, and I'm trying to get my thoughts together here because this is kind of on the cuff. So any of you who own something of that nature, I don't know what year or model besides, the '04 Forester would accommodate a hammock, but this one definitely does. I slept in one all winter inside the car. And to begin with, you have to remove the back seat, which I already have removed. I don't even have it anymore. It's 3,000 miles away and in a closet. And you have to also remove the front seat. So to spare you the visual labor of my removing the front seat, it's only 4 bolts. But I'm going to go ahead and do that and then continue this. Okay, the front seat is unbolted. Like I said, there's 2 bolts in back, 2 bolts in front, and you also have to unplug the airbag wire, which is pretty much dead center in the middle of the front seat underneath. Okay, now the task is to remove Ms. Bobert from the front seat so I can take it out. But before I pull it out, I do want to point out what I've done to the front. Bo, come on, get out. Come on, out. So I've taken off the sun visor, as you can see, and these are original screws that were in the sun visor bracket, and I've taken off the hand pull, and these are the original screws that were in the hand pull. And this is just, I don't know, like a 2x4 upright piece of hardware. You slip the 2x4 down in there and nail it all here with those little galvanized nails. So that's what that is. And I had to drill an extra hole in this end to line up the screws, the holes with, I got to tighten that screw, to line up the holes so the screws would go in and hold this bracket up. And then to extend it out a little further, I put this eye bolt in, and it's 3/4 inch, and a nut and a washer on each side to keep it tight. And then I have an amp steel loop tucked up behind this rubber, which is just a piece of old bicycle tire, and that comes down and it wraps around this eye bolt. So that way I have for the downward pull, and I mean it moves, but like I said, I slept in it at least 50 nights this past winter, this past ski season, and no problems. I mean, the head end of the hammock clips right in there. And for the back part of the hammock, the foot part of the hammock, it's in the back of the car here. I use these, I gotta turn my soup off. My soup has been boiling away. Maybe I'll let it simmer for a little while longer. There, can't forget about it though. Okay, so yeah, I use the child seat clips, what they put there so that you can buckle the child seat in to the ceiling. And then I ran this rod through, and it's not just a rod, it actually has a dowel inside, a wooden dowel wrapped with electrical tape, so it's somewhat tight. So if it were just this rod, it would bend, okay? The rod would bend from my weight in the hammock, but it doesn't bend with that dowel inside. So, and then this is the hammock here, the foot end of the hammock, and I'll show you all that, how it's rigged. once I get it set up. So right now I'm gonna kick Bo out of her seat again and actually pull that seat out. She could sit in it out here if she wants to. And then I'm gonna proceed with hanging the hammock. This dog ain't entirely dumb. She dropped a piece of chicken jerky down between the seat and the console this afternoon. And so I was trying to get her to leave the passenger seat so I could yank it out, and she jumped over into the driver's side seat. And then once I got that passenger seat out, she jumped down there and sniffed out that piece of chicken jerky and made quick work of it. Anyway, Bo, you want to sit on a chair? Here. There's no more food under there. That's your seat. You gonna sit in it? All right. So this here is the wire for the airbag. And I actually never plugged it back in when I put the seat back in after the winter. So, okay, I'm gonna proceed to put the hammock in. I gotta kick Bo out now once again. Bo, there's no more food in there. Okay, just another step in the process here. You can see now, this will actually spread across like that when I'm lying in the hammock. I'm gonna have to do a little bit of housekeeping on this whole mess to, you know, arrange it all right so that it's comfortable. And here's the hammock I'll be laying in. And here's that green and gray one, which I'm gonna have to snug up to push up against the underquilt. And I brought my synthetic underquilt, which is this right here. It's a Tigress one. It's actually pretty nice. I mean, it was only like 60 bucks and it's only good to 40 degrees, but that combined with, I have a really good hammock gear underquilt, which is good to, I don't know, 0, I think. Those two together, and my war bonnet, whatever the name is, my top quilt, it's got some special name, you know. It got down to 20 below at least, and I didn't even know it. Of course, I was wrapped up like a cocoon, you know, in down, and this synthetic in there too. I didn't have to worry about weight, of course, because I'm in the car. But I wouldn't even know it. There was a couple weeks there where it was just, you know, one of those polar vortexes coming down. Really good skiing. And really good sleeping too. So, this is the front part, and these hammocks come longer than what this length is. This length is only like a little over 6 feet from those clips and back to this eye bolt. So I tie an overhand knot in the hammock. I mean, the hammocks are knotted at the end anyway, so I just knot it down a little bit more, and then I wrap it, you know, do, you know, like a girth hitch or a prusik or whatever, so that it's wrapped just before that knot, and then clip it. And so I do have to clean this up some, and I'll show it to you. The next clip will be, the next video clip will be the finished result, and I'll go over that. All right, other than putting my sleeping bag inside, she's done. Didn't take that long either. Took maybe 10 minutes. 10 minutes tops. Okay, so I'm gonna try and cover all the little details. Not that you have to follow them exactly, you know, because it's kind of a creative project, but it really works. Okay, so the curtain rod I already mentioned with the wooden dowel inside. Okay, I have these metal clips because these are strong. I have them on either end so that this rod won't slide back and forth when I'm rolling over or sleeping on my side or my back or whatever in the night. Because if this rod could potentially slide right off of this black beaner, and the black beaner is clipping, you know, holding the rod up against that child safety seat clip that, you know, comes, you know, with the Subaru. The factory put it in there, whatever. Okay, so then I've got the blue and gray hammock that I sleep in. I put the down war bonnet Wookie underquilt in this system. I didn't use this in the winter. I used my hammock gear underquilt, but this should work just fine. I tied a loose overhand in it just to take up some of the slack, clipped it to this beaner, and this beaner, this silver beaner, and this silver beaner hold the, this is just a piece of Dyneema. It was a rock climbing sling, a runner, whatever. And, you know, I ran it through the foot end of the green and black hammock. Also, I want to point out that these silver beaners are on the outside of the black beaner, and that keeps this hammock spread apart, this blue and gray one. That keeps the spread. And what keeps the blue and gray one, the one I sleep in, spread, I have these, they're actually like create a grommet in a tarp kind of fittings. They're just plastic. A disc fits inside of here, you know, on the opposite side, and then you just run whatever through, you know, your guy line or whatever. And that way, if you don't have enough tie downs in the tarp you're using, you just slip one of those on, you know, instead of jamming a pile of dirt or a rock or something in there and tying around that. Okay, it's just a simple cinch mechanism, cinching mechanism. Same thing with this silver beaner. It's on the outside of the black beaner, and that's pretty much it for the foot end. Okay, comes around, I have a couple more of these add a grommet fittings, and then I ran some shock cord underneath just to ensure, well, this one's actually pretty loose, I'm going to retie it, but just to ensure that those underquilts stay up against my backside. And you can see them in there. There's the synthetic, this one here, and here's the Wookie, this one here. I should be toasty, actually. And then the front one, this looks like a jumble of a mess, but what it is you have the upper hammock. This is on a piece of closed loop am steel. Very easy to make. You can get both the am steel, well, VM steel off of Amazon, and watch a video on how to do it. Don't buy a fid. Just use a pencil. This stuff is really easy to work with. So closed loop piece of am steel, and this is am steel, and those are connected to the beaner, which is connected to the eye bolt. Okay, and then this lower green and gray hammock is just, it has an overhand in it. It looks like a whole bunch of crap, but it's just one overhand, and this overhand here is from the factory or whoever made this thing. Okay, and then this is just a prusik. It's a big huge prusik that I made out of the hanging rope that came with the hammock. Okay, and it's clipped on one of those cheapo clip, you know, quick link things, whatever they're called. It's kind of like a beaner, but it's, you know, you wouldn't want to hang your body on that. And this isn't. My body's not on this. My body's on this. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Seems like a lot of details, you know, and a lot of, like, I don't know, mind-blowing complexity, but it's not. I mean, it's just basically two underquilts sandwiched between two hammocks, and you just rig these ends the best that you can think of, you know, so that your weight is on a load-bearing device, you know. And those are the main, that's really the singular priority, you know, is that the thing holds up for you. And with those factory, oh, that's right, I have to tighten that screw up front. With these factory, you know, screws and clips and all that stuff, you know, that Subaru put in, it's pretty safe, and it's durable. Okay, Bobo says good night, even though it's probably 2 hours till sunset. Isn't that right, Bobo? I think she's going to be comfortable tonight. Hopefully she doesn't have gas from all those potatoes I let her eat. Good morning. It's about 7 a.m. Sun is shining down through the trees. Bo decided to join me in the hammock for a little bird watching on the edge of the woods. And this is a good shot of the hammock inside of the car, set up inside the car. Finished product, I guess. And it's accommodating. I got a good night's sleep. Okay. I think it's time for some coffee. As soon as I can get Bo off me.